outside the dugout. Pete Alonso keeps this fairy tale season going with the fairy tale swing of his career.
You know, that's just the way the New York Mets do. No, it's actually not how the New York Mets do it. The night before is how the New York Mets do it, where they and the Jets usually collapse under pressure. Last night, an extraordinary moment for Pete Alonso, a guy who's had a lot of ups and downs this year. Really hasn't had a great year, a great moment. People were talking about him being traded the first half of the year. I don't think he's going to be leaving the Mets anytime soon. So the miracle Mets. I mean, Jonathan Lemire, you know, let's just say here, and I don't say this about every town, all right? But I love Milwaukee. I love the people of Milwaukee. It's a great city. It's a great town. I hate for them what they had to sit through last night. It was sad for them. At the same time, the Mets. I mean, the Mets are kind of due, and so this was a nice turnaround. And the nicest part is the Mets are still in it, and the Braves are out. There is no Atlanta team to haunt them this playoff series.
Yeah, and now they get the Philadelphia Phillies, though, their other rivalry battle for their territorial rights to New Jersey, I think. And amazingly, the Mets and Phillies have never
met in a postseason.
Yeah,
incredible.
Exactly. Never done.
And they played like 1,400 games against each other lifetime.
Wow. So I don't know. I don't know who Sal Gentile is, but he writes this about the upcoming series. I fear America as a nation is genuinely not prepared for the Mets-Phillies division series. South Jersey will be a war zone. Our interstate Wawa system is at risk of collapse. Our strategic hoagie and tanning oil reserves will be severely stressed. Maura, we may never know peace again.
You know, it's like, don't we have enough anxiety ahead of this election?
Cats and dogs sleeping together.
I mean, seriously.
I-95.
Yeah, but Pete Alonso, a Met star for years, but you're right, never really had a signature moment outside of the home run derbies. And he's a free agent after the season. Last night he did. This was a dramatic home run. The Mets were down 2-0. Their bats seemed lifeless. They rallied yet again. Their magic continues. You do feel bad for the Brewers. We all defended the city of Milwaukee this year when Donald Trump started slagging off of it, we'll recall. But that's heartbreak for them. That's a good team going home. Yeah. And we now have a really great final 8 of the baseball postseason. We got Mets, Phillies. We have
no Astros.
Division rivals, Tigers, Guardians. Division rivals, Padres, Dodgers, and of course the Yankees against America's team, the Kansas City Royals.
Well, and you define the America's team as
whoever plays the Yankees.
Exactly. Just we're going to have to be calling the White House later on today to be worried in this series about the strategic tanning oil reserves. They will be severely stressed.
We have the director of the Economic Council on later. We will make sure we put that question down.
Very good. I mean, they're very busy week for them. Yesterday, they averted a strike, which really is pretty remarkable. I'll be asking you more about that in a little bit. Right now, I want to make sure TJ is all right. TJ, you've been a director for a very long time. You've always worn Mets caps and paraphernalia. Last night, TJ, that was your one moment in time.
My one moment. They are amazing. We've been waiting a long time for this, and it's exciting.
Okay.
He seems out of his mind.
He really is. Well,
he spent a lot of energy last night. He drained from it after that.
He was screaming. We also have with us Pulitzer Prize winning columnist and associate editor of the Washington Post and Washington Nationals fans who will not be, along with the Boston Red Sox, in the next round of playoffs. Eugene Robinson. Eugene, I want to get to your column in a little bit, but first I want to show you this. Bruce Springsteen. He announced his endorsement of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in a video that was posted on Instagram yesterday. It really was perfect. And I'm just talking about the words delivered, the location, how he was dressed. I mean, it looked like Spielberg put this together. The perfect on every front, and it's actually. It's a pretty good tip for anybody running for politics in the future, in the age of Instagram, the age of TikTok, the age of, well, insane madness. Here's Bruce Springsteen sounding very sane.
Hi, I'm Bruce Springsteen. Friends, fans, and the press have asked me who I'm supporting in this most important of elections. And with full knowledge that my opinions no more or less important than those of any of my fellow citizens, here's my answer. I'm supporting Kamala Harris for president and Tim Walz for vice president, and opposing Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Here's why. We are shortly coming upon one of the most consequential elections in our nation's history, perhaps not since the Civil War. Has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment? It doesn't have to be this way. The common values, the shared stories that make us a great and united nation are waiting to be rediscovered and retold once again. Now that will take time, hard work, intelligence, faith, and women and men with the national good guiding their hearts. America's the most powerful nation on earth, not just because of her overwhelming military strength or economic power, but because of what she stands for, what she means, what she believes in. Freedom, social justice, equal opportunity, the right to be and love who you want. These are the things that make America great. Donald Trump is the most dangerous candidate for president in my lifetime. His disdain for the sanctity of our Constitution, the sanctity of democracy, the sanctity of the rule of law, and the sanctity of the peaceful transfer of power should disqualify him from the office of president ever again. He doesn't understand the meaning of this country, its history, or what it means to be deeply American. On the other hand, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are committed to a vision of this country that respects and includes everyone, regardless of class, religion, race, your political point of view, or sexual identity. And they want to grow our economy in a way that benefits all, not just a few like me on top. That's the vision of America I've been consistently writing about for 55 years. Now, everybody sees things different, and I respect your choice as a fellow citizen. But like you, I've only got one vote, and it's one of the most precious possessions that I have. That's why, come November 5th, I'll be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Thanks for listening.
You know, Gene, there's so many things that were done right there, stylistically. But the words, it doesn't, he talks about how we're more divided now than any time since the Civil War. It says it doesn't have to be this way. The common values, the shared stories that make us great, and a united nation, a united nation, are waiting to be rediscovered and retold once again. And then he says of Donald Trump, he doesn't understand the meaning of this country, its history, and what makes America great. And then at the end, I love how he says to his fans and anybody else watching, hey, listen, just one guy's opinion. I know people think differently, but this is the most precious thing I have, my vote. And that's why I'm telling you it's so important, not only to vote for Kamala Harris, but to beat Donald Trump. What are your thoughts?
Well, look, he really does have a way with words, doesn't he? He has for a while. I just saw Bruce and the E Street Band perform here in Washington a few weeks ago. My friend Stevie Van Zandt, and they were just in terrific form, and it was such a cross section. It is a display of Americana up there on the stage that speaks to so many people through the music and especially through the lyrics that are just piercing. He's amazing, and I thought that was a great endorsement. It really was. It was pure Bruce Springsteen, and I hope people watch it.
Yeah, you know, Donnie, with Mika off the show this morning, I can say what you are. You are an advertising and branding legend. She wouldn't tell me to be quiet and stop making your head bigger than it is. But let's just, TJ, roll this while Donnie talks, just so we can look at the visuals of it. Talk us through that, Donnie. Why does that, the second it hits the screen, why does that appeal to Americans so much?
Well, it appeals to Americans for two reasons. Number one, it's Bruce Springsteen. But number two, that is a seat that pretty much anybody in this country can relate to sitting in. That is in a diner. That is in a we all know that diner. And he's wearing the flannel shirt, and there's something about Springsteen that transcends every other celebrity.
By the way, that flannel shirt, talk about the consistency. It works because it's consistent with who we know he is.
Well, the whole thing is authentic, and the whole thing is, and I've been very outspoken, not very outspoken. I've said many times, step away from celebrities, Democrats. It just puts you in the elitist category. Bruce is in a different place than everybody else. He is not red. He is not blue. He is America. He is red, white, and blue. And there's a trust factor there, and there's an honesty there, and there's an authenticity there. And he's the boss. And I think this is beautifully done. It's well crafted. It's well written. But Joe, you said it best. It's authentic, and that's what makes it.
Mara, there's also a challenge in there, which is this is what I've been writing about in my songs for 50 years. And it's almost his way of saying, okay, you say you love my songs. Mm-hmm. You say you love my lyrics. You say, you're a super fan of mine. Okay, well, what you've been singing to, the songs that you've been singing to are exactly what I'm talking about now over these 2.5 minutes.
Well, I'm really glad you brought that up because, first of all, I wish my father was here, who also was a lifelong advertising executive. He was the creative director at Ogilvy and Mather.
No way. I started out at Ogilvy and Mather.
So you guys could have quite a conversation.
The guy that fired you.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Told you to stop wearing the Baby Gap T-shirts to work.
No, he went on to own his own company too, and he has a long history in the business. But I love watching campaign spots with him because he has such a similar take. And I think what he would say too is the other reason it works is that it respects the audience. Yeah. It's not talking down to the viewer. It's saying, you're one of me, you're one of us, I'm here at this table with you. Sit at my table, and I'm gonna treat you like an adult. And then it's saying, please do the right thing. It's up to you, but here's why I believe so strongly in this. Come sit with me. And it's powerful. It's also really important because this is a moment where the campaign desperately needs more male surrogates. It needs more trusted male surrogates to get this message out. And I think that's why Walz has gotten so under Donald Trump's skin, because he's an example of a man who can be strong without diminishing others. And without controlling others. And so the more examples we see of that, and legends like Bruce Springsteen are directly in that tradition, the better, not just for Kamala Harris, but for the country. I mean, ultimately, this is about between Liz Cheney and Bruce Springsteen saying, this is America. Right. Those guys over there who want to take away your rights, destroy this country for themselves and their power.